Venus transit in Taurus, sensuality, stability and comfort. Venus transit in Taurus, Venus comes home and spins mace. Mercury transit 2025, Al endeavors to bring to you the latest and the most important astrological events with every new blog related to the arcane world of astrology. In this blog we will read about Venus transit in Taurus. Mercury transit 2025, Al endeavors to bring to you the latest and the most important astrological events with every new blog release to keep our readers up to date with the latest happenings of the arcane world. About Venus transit in Taurus, which is set to take place on the 29th of June, 2025, and how it would impact the zodiac signs. Venus, the quintessential strong planet, is in Libra and Taurus. Here, it conjures up beauty, elegance, and a superb sense of full lips, silky skin, luscious hair, and a small waist are common characteristics of those signs bearers. Women typically have broad hips and lovely breasts. These are Venus's weapons, qualities that women are attempting to emphasize in a variety of ways, even through surgery, to demonstrate their traits of subtlety and spirituality. When it is in Pisces, which is another powerful location for Venus, the area of exaltation. Venus transit in Taurus, timing. Venus will transit into its own zodiac sign of Taurus on the 29th of June, 2025 here, and will perform well and surely be positive for most of the zodiac signs. Let's take a look at who will benefit and who will not. Venus transit in Taurus, these zodiac signs will benefit. Aries. Venus will move into Taurus in your second house. Since Venus will be in its own sign, it will attempt to offer you favorable consequences during its transit in the second house, which is generally seen as beneficial. However, a rather difficult situation is created by Saturn's third aspect on your second house, which could have some unfavor, will endeavor to lessen. Aries, you might buy new clothing and jewelry when Venus is in Taurus. You might get more interested in the arts and music, and you'll have more chances to spend time with your loved ones. You might make good money, and issues pertaining to the governmental phase is the lord of your sixth house and your ascendant ruling planet. Venus will be in your first house during its transit in Taurus, which means it will stay in its own sign. Venus's transit in the first house is generally regarded as good, and since it is in its own sign, you are probably going to have lessen Saturn's harmful impacts. This Venus transit through Taurus could bring you success and money. There may be financial gains during this time. Students are likely to do well, particularly those pursuing literature and the arts. Additionally, this transit is this Venus transit. There may be financial gains during this time. Students are likely to do well, particularly those pursuing literature and the arts. Additionally, this transit is good for moving marriage-related issues along. In addition, Venus will give happiness through romantic relationship. Cancer. Venus, who rules both your 4th and 11th house, will be in your 11th house of gains while it is in Taurus. Venus's passage in this house is often seen as quite advantageous. Venus is even more beneficial benefits because it will be in its own sign. Life in a number of ways. Cancer, gains and happiness in relation to real estate, cars, and property may be experienced. Opportunities for travel might present themselves, and you'll probably like them. Your financial situation may improve as a result of this worth more money and prosperity. You'll have a good chance of succeeding in related fields of work. Siblings and friends may also provide you with strong support. It is possible that you will no longer have to worry about issues pertaining to your mother. Virgo. Virgos will be in your 9th house of fortune and destiny while it is in Taurus. Venus's passage in this house is often seen as quite advantageous. Your luck will automatically improve because Venus, the Lord of Fortune, is in its own house. This implies that although your efforts will pay, which will make success and accomplishments simpler. Administrative and governmental affairs may also go without a hitch. There are opportunities for religious pilgrimage. Furthermore, good things might happen within the family or between family members. Overall, positive Taurus, especially in areas pertaining to finances and family. Libra. Dear Libras, during its transit in Taurus, Venus, the ruler of your ascendant Lagna and 8th house, will be in your 8th house. The 9th house is often thought to be unfavorable for planets that can produce pleasant outcomes even in this house. Venus can offer respite in some because it will be in its own sign. Libra. Dear Libras, during its transit in Taurus, Venus, the ruler of your ascendant Lagna and 8th house, will be in your 8th house. For planetary transits, although Venus is one of the few planets that can produce pleasant outcomes even in this house. Venus can offer respite in some areas of life because it will be in its own sign. You might now discover answers if you have been dealing with problems or obstacles lately. You could benefit but since the Lord is in the 8th house, patience will be essential in all situations. To succeed, you'll need to be even more patient than you were before. It's also critical to look after your health. When driving or traveling, exercise additional caution. Exercise prudence and patience. Additionally, this transit increases the likelihood of success and happiness. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, during its transit in Taurus, Venus, which rules both your 6th and 11th houses, will be in your 6th house. Is generally regarded as unfavorable. It might not bring much negativity because it is in its own sign. However, it is crucial to exercise caution when dealing with Venus-related issues during this time. Avoid pointless arguments because this Venus transit in Taurus is believed to promote will be the best course of action, especially if a circumstance comes up where you might argue with a woman. Be mindful of your health, keep up a healthy diet and lifestyle to stay in shape, and drive carefully. Aquarius. Both your 4th and 9th houses are ruled by Venus. Will be in your 4th house. Astrological texts state that Venus transit in the 4th house usually brings about positive outcome. This transit may help you achieve your goals, have favorable financial outcomes, and feel more at ease with regard to homes, cars, and property, relationships and result in positive interactions with family members. You might experience increased mental contentment and a sense of personal achievement. Pisces. Dear Pisces, Venus, who rules both your 3rd and 8th houses, will stay in your 3rd house while it is in Taurus. House is thought to produce favorable outcomes. Your bonds with your siblings and friends may get stronger during this transit, and you might even make new pals. You'll probably do better than your rivals. This Venus transit in Taurus may lessen the negative impacts of Saturn in your 1st home, comfortable and prosperous. You will probably notice advantages in practically every area of your life if fortune is on your side. Venus transit in Taurus, these zodiac signs will be negatively impacted. Gemini. Venus, who rules both your 5th and 12th houses. The Venus transit in the 12th house is often regarded as advantageous. It could not be totally advantageous, though, because the ruler of the 5th house is relocating to the 12th house. You may have to avoid your loved ones as a result. This may mean traveling to a far place or. On the other hand, business travel will be profitable. For individuals who wish to study abroad, there might be good news. This Venus transit in Taurus also promotes extravagance and indulgence, especially in the area of entertainment. During this period, even though it might be a bit difficult for you to focus on your studies or other vital matters. Leo. Dear Leos, Venus, who rules both your 3rd and 10th houses, will be in your 10th house of career and karma while it is in Taurus. Venus's transit in the 10th house is often astrology states that Venus in the 10th house can cause mental strain, disputes, and challenges at work or in business. It might also result in problems with administration and government, as well as failures at work. However, since Venus is in its own sign, these negatives indicates that while there may still be sporadic challenges, Venus will fortify the associated regions. In other words, problems might arise, but there will also be answers. There may be disagreements, but they will probably be settled. If you encounter difficulties at work, initial setbacks in business can eventually result in gains. Work success is likely, and any problems with authorities might become better over time. While issues may arise, they will also be resolved in due time, according to this Venus transiting Taurus. Recite the mantra Om Dram Dream Drong Sa Shukra Nama 108 times. Keep fasts every Friday, prepare kheer and distribute it to the poor and eat it yourself too. Worship Laxmi Maa and offer 5 red flowers to her in the temple. Help the needy. Wear the color white often.